Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing bell here at MarketStream.live. I'm Joe Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Well, it has been quite a week. The market ended up on a flat note with the S&P finishing the day pulling off of its best levels and giving up basically right above the flat line. For the week, the S&P lost about 1%. The NASDAQ fell about 2.7%. And that was the biggest laggard. And the Dow did tick up for the end of the week, up about 0.1%. Now, today's action on the New York Stock Exchange came on less than average volume, not by much. The average volume is usually 926 million shares. Today it was around 882 million. The financial sector did narrow its weekly gain to about 0.9%. Basically, you're seeing the yield curve in the Treasury market start to flatten. Specifically, you saw that the 10-year slipped about 2 to 6 basis points to 2.39%. That's put some pressure on some of the larger banks, so they're pulling off of their best levels. You're also seeing that the Treasury prices are climbing alongside with their sovereign debt brethrens. In other words, you're seeing some caution being employed right before this pivotal event in Italy, where they have a constitutional reform amendment that is up for vote. Now, this amendment right now, if you look at the exit polls that are, again, I take those with a grain of salt, coming out, it basically looks like they're going to vote no, which means that, first of all, everything stays status quo in Italy. It also means that the current Prime Minister, Renzi, will resign. At least that's what he's saying. It was also reported earlier yesterday that the ECB, the European Central Bank, has stepped up its purchases of Italian bonds, and in case there is some sort of event where they do vote this through and there is volatility in the bonds. That makes sense. We saw the bond activity in the 10-year in Italy. We actually saw that the bond yields came down about 13 basis points to 1.91%. So it seems like they're firming up there. We will know more on Sunday evening. Stay tuned. Actually, come join us on Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be online talking through the setups that we're going to be looking at for the week, and we'll be able to take a look and see what the futures are doing at that point in time in advance of the vote. The consumer discretionary space, it was a slow retreat. Basically in the general sector, we saw that a lot of the service-oriented businesses like this Chipotle, CMG's ticker symbol was down 235. Young Brands down 27 cents at 62.42. They both lost near about 0.5%. You also saw traditional retailer Gap stores, GPS, surrendered 3%. Down about 75 cents at 24.30 after they had some disappointing same-store sales reports. On the upside, you saw that rate-sensitive real estate names were up about 1.2% as a sector. You also saw utilities up about 0.9%. Basically, when you see those Treasury yields start to drop, bond prices go up, that's beneficial for those two sectors. Where we also saw some strength was in the tech sector, and specifically, we saw that the chip makers. We reported on this earlier this morning and this afternoon. The chip makers really were the leader in the tech group. You saw the Philly Semiconductor Index up about 1.3%. These higher beta stocks narrowed their loss from this week. The semis were getting beat up pretty badly. They were down as a sector around 4.9%. Finally, energies. What's there to say? The sector gained about 2.9% for the week, ending well ahead of the remaining sectors. You basically saw that the move in oil was the main contributor. You saw that crude oil finished the day at 51.68, which is above that resistance level that I've been watching. That settlement basically gets it above it, just right below its 2016 all-time high, yearly high at 51.93, and that was notched in late October. So we're going to keep an eye on oil. I'm waiting to see what the catalyst is going to be for the upside, see if the demand picture is really shifting, but we'll have to wait and see. But that was the catalyst in the energy markets. That's it today for the closing bell. We had a great week this week. I want to thank everybody for participating in this, both on the live events and the recorded events. And as always, please send us your thoughts, what you're thinking about MarketStream.live, what you think about me, whatever you want. Send it to info@MarketStream.live. That's info@MarketStream.live. And as always, have a great weekend, and we will see you Sunday night at 6 p.m. where we're going to be setting up the trading week. So please join us then. Take care.